There we go. Alright, we are in Final Fantasy XIV. We are playing the post-Shadowbringers main scenario quest still. We are, I think, 9 quests away from finishing post-Shadowbringers, which doesn't mean anything, because FF14 quests can be as long as 5 minutes, or... Now let's go with that. As long as 5 minutes or as short as an hour. So it's... 9 means nothing. I could finish 9 quests in today, or it could take me 2 more streams. Like, one of those could be an entire stream of just watching cutscenes. It entirely depends. But let's have a chat with Alisaie. What was the last thing we did? We, It was only last week. I don't have an excuse for not remembering this time. We... summoned a pig and solved an issue with some pirates who didn't want to stop being pirates. And then we used the pig to save the Sahagin priest. Was it the Sahagin priest? No, it was the other priest. It was the priest from the other tribe. And then Admiral Bloelin, or whatever her name was like, go on, shoot me. And they were like, no. And it's like, okay, cool. And then... yeah, that was pretty much it. There was a dispute with pirates. We resolved it. Wasn't the weird machine spheres? What? You've lost me there. We might have to do an instance. I can't remember what the instance was though. But anyway, point is that all got resolved, and we're onto the final patch. Well, the first part of the final patch for Shadowbringers. So let's go under the breach. Good news, Jack. Thancred and Urianger finished their tour of Garlemald and are on the way back here even as we speak. As we still haven't heard anything on the towers from the Alliance, I'm hoping they might be able to shed some light on things. They're due to arrive any moment now, so let's see what they have to say, eh? What's the last stream the weird machine spheres from the boats? I swear it's going for 14 seconds like having a stroke. No, I don't think there were any flying boats. Last week there was a pirate guy who the captain was sick, and the second in command was like, "We don't want to stop being pirates." And then the captain came out and went, "We need to stop being pirates and be sailors." And they were like, "Oh, okay, I guess we'll stop being pirates, and we'll be pirates for the good ship, Limsa Laminsa." And then we had to primal brain a guy, and we had to protect Alisaie while she did that. That was what happened last time. I don't know what you mean by weird machine spheres. There may have been weird machine spheres, and I'm just misremembering. There's sometimes a lot that goes on in Final Fantasy XIV, and it sort of goes par for the course, and you're just like, yeah, no, that's not noticeable, not sort of memorable. It's just like, oh yeah, giant machine spheres, yeah, every other day. Ship going merry. Oh, okay, this week was the going married. So playing the ship Luffy with Robin, that's not a thing. Boa Hancock, that's who you ship Luffy with. Ah, welcoming party. You needn't have gone to the trouble. From what I hear, you've been more than busy enough as it is. By the way, I lost Urianger. I don't know where he is. Honestly, you might have waited for me to return before discovering a cure for tempering. That's what I meant by primal brain, tempering. As it is, I can't even pretend to have been involved. Well, if it's any consolation, I myself was a little more than a spectator. The lion's share of the credit must go to Alisaie, Graha, and Jack. but I believe I speak for the rest of us when I say that we are proud to have rendered what little assistance we could. As you will also have heard, though, it hasn't all been tales of triumph. Just as we were taking a step forward, finally addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed in our lap. Anyway, it's good to have you back, though I can't help noticing that we're one Urianger short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? It's like, yes, sorry. Oh, I couldn't lose him if I tried. And I did try, repeatedly. But no, he decided to linger in Alamigo to apprise Roaban and the others of how the land lies in Garlemald. Then mayhap you would do the same for us. Indeed. It was just as Lee said. Worse, in fact. Devastation as far as the eye could see. Never and the Third, however, were notable by their absence. Might they have met their end at the hands of Xenos and Fandaniel? Oh yeah, and Fandaniel showed up with a rosy Bahamut and breathed on us. That was another thing that happened. Like I said, that was a really important plot piece. Like the last Asian showed up with a giant dragon, and I just went, yeah, it's that's just a normal thing that happens in Final Fantasy XIV. I just kind of put it out of my mind. Perhaps they simply lost the will to fight. You see, the capital has been plunged into a deathly silence, with one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but it has grown busier still, with throngs of soldiers and civilians working there day and night to rebuild, or rather transform it. Oh, look, the fandom want to make it a thing. Yeah, well, the fandom's wrong. They want to make, like, Nami and Usopp a thing, and it's like, he has a girlfriend. Like, he's one of the only characters who does. Moon Bahamut, yes. That's yeah, big pink dragon. Transform it into what? That is a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to Urianger, certain aspects of its design were clearly devised with the manipulation of ether in mind. Magitech, in other words. Yet, as unnerving as said edifice was, it was next to nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarmed the place, like so many insects, working with nary a word exchange between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. It was as if they were possessed, or tempered. We wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wiser not to take the risk. So we thought we'd come back here and send Jack in, because he's immune. If Fandaniel could bind Bahamut to his will, might he have done the same to the people of Garlemald? Now, whatever the truth may be, this information is certain to prove valuable. You have our thanks. Well, be sure to save some for Urianger. Which reminds me, I have a message from Alamigo. Ralban is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the towers, and he requested our presence. Oh yeah, the giant towers showed up all across Eorzea. There was a lot that happened last week that I've just completely put out of my head. Then why not leave it to us? You must be weary from your mission. No, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on the way back, and I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay and begin looking into another matter, as I promised Kryl. We need not all attend. Also, I'm feeling lazy. Very well. I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. The sooner we leave, the more time we will have to speak with Urianger before the meeting. God. Graha's just happy to be involved in discussions. If you're curious to know what I will be doing in your absence, let us speak of it another time. At present, Kryl and I have no more than a hypothesis. Oh, she's doing mystery stuff. Okay. I'll ask later. Boy. gonna run over there, but then there's a wall in the way. And, you know, I can't be bothered to run around the wall. So I'll just take my flying chair over the top of it. Hi, NJ. I'm used to anime fandoms being weird, though. I was there for people shipping Shishimaru and Ren, and if you know Inuyasha, you know how fucked up that is. I do not know Inuyasha, but I do know that people in the anime community are fond of fucked up shipping, so... yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I never really got shipping, I'll be honest. It was always one of those things which was like... if a character, like, if there was, like, a romantic interest on screen, or on panel, or whatever, like, if there was a romantic interest, trying to be like, oh, okay, they might end up together, and that's about it. I wouldn't just go, there's two characters, they should bang. It's probably why I don't like Overwatch. My friends, much and more have I heard of your travails in our absence. Heartened am I to see you all hale and whole. As are we to see you safely return from your mission, Urianger. I trust Thancred made you feel welcome. Well, I'm going to assume this is Raoban. Well, if he isn't Alphino and his merry band. It is not Raoban. It's this guy whose voice I can't remember. Ironvold, whatever are you doing here? When we spoke via Linkpool, you told me you would be away on a mission. And who's to say this isn't part of it? But enough about that. It's good to see you looking so similar. I thought you'd have grown a bit taller after a whole year in another world, but apparently not. Well, I am sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body has hardly aged, as you are well aware. If I haven't mentioned it before, I'm an anime protagonist, so that sort of shit is what happens. I went into the hyperbolic time chamber. Oh no, that's the opposite. I suppose that's where he would age in a short amount, with like 3 years with no time passing. I guess it's a reverse hyperbolic time chamber. A hyperglycemic lion tamer. And may I remind you that we Alisaie are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our height. Mark my words, the day will come when even a great Auroch such as yourself will crane your neck to meet my eye. I'd love a time skip in FF14 where all the characters, like, just like 2-3 years. Aye, 'twas not until my 20th summer that I myself outgrew my boyish proportions, though Moonbreeder towered over me nonetheless. Remember her? The one who showed up and died immediately. Arenavold brings out the best in Alphino, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease in each other's company, it's almost endearing. Okay, they're shipping siblings and real-life actors, that's what it is. Yeah, shipping real-life people, or a sort of extension of that is like shipping VTubers, unless they've like done it themselves, because I mean they're not really characters, they're people. It's weird. And thank you, yes. I always have to throw in Dragon Ball Abridged references where I can. So what exactly brings you here? Oh, Fordola mostly. We need to go over a few things before we set out. Set out? Wait, does this have something to do with the towers? Yeah, I'll give you that impression. Actually, tell me later. You got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards, alright? I feel like, is there like a side quest involving Arenvald and Fordola that I can go and do? Because I feel like they've kind of just been out of the plot for this entire expansion. If Fordola is going with him, that must mean... Now, my apologies. As Arenvald rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend. Let us be about it. Does this mean I can't ship you and a good tomato basil pasta? I mean, I'd happily eat a good tomato basil pasta, but I probably won't fuck one. I'm happy to go on record saying that.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. 'Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
I shoot my mum and dad, not because of any weird anime reasons, just because I want them to be happy. That's uncharacteristically wholesome of you, Sotratus.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrics. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Telophoroid's disposal. But since then we have seen no sign of this Fandaniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy.
Can Alisaie change voice actors? It's been a while since I've heard her talk. She's not been that relevant for a while.
'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
It's probably just I haven't heard her voice for a while. Plus, as I've discussed, I'm pretty sure this is during all of this voice acting at this portion of Final Fantasy XIV is COVID voice acting. So it all sounds a little bit weird.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us.
Sorry, you expect me to say weird, horny shit even about my own parents? I mean, you brought up your parents. I wasn't expecting you to say anything about your parents. I'm just saying, the fact that you did, and then it turned out to be uncharacteristically wholesome was, well, it was pleasant.
Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Living girls with legs or heads, yes. My family, no. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar. And that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked.
So they're like primal towers or something?
Glory be to Garlemald.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers.
Oh, so they're just getting close to the towers, becoming tempered, and then wandering off on their own to Garlemald.
Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first.
Shall I just go and break them?
Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
I mean, it's me. I'm the only one here who's immune to tempering. Oh, I suppose Fordola's also immune.
What?
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
Oh, and Aaron, yeah, I forget Arenvold is as well, isn't he? He's got like a really rubbish echo.
We are glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
So them are not the literal warrior of light in the Crimson Jacket. It's like, yeah, I'm sat there like, I don't have anything to do.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
I mean, I've got a triple triad tournament next week I can't miss, but, you know, up until then I'm free. Yeah, I don't have a home to go to, so... Well, I do have an apartment, I suppose.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, Arenvold?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
Cuts back in. It's like, so do you want me to do anything? Why am I here? Why am I here if you don't need me really? I wouldn't want to waste the legendary Warrior of Light's powers or MBS scouting mission. Oh, Warrior of Light, please make me a bacon sandwich. This is a real quest they give you between two raid phases. That does not surprise me. Like, all of the Warrior of Light's quests go from something as, like, world-ending as, I need you to fight a literal god, to, can you please move those crates? And, honestly, those two quests could be one after another. It's like, okay, well, thank you for moving those crates for me. There's God. Have at it. Now it's out in the open, I don't have to keep it under my proverbial hat anymore. Me and Fordola are a thing. Don't be weird about it. Yes, she killed a lot of people.
I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamolder and Vamar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Ah! Jamolder and Vamar, good, yes. Those two... guys?
Arenvold, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan.
Honestly, the more you're making a big deal out of this, the more you're raising death flags. Please stop. Oh, it's morning. That meeting took a long
time.
With
this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
It's like, Alphino, if you had just, like, been cool about it, it would have been
And you,
fine.
Fudola? Is this what you want?
But now you're making a big deal. I'm like, okay, well, is Arenvald gonna die now?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Eldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
He's so dying horrifically. Well, if Final Fantasy XIV followed like standard storytelling, then absolutely I'd 100% believe that Arenvald is dying. But they've done this before, where they have like gone, like characters have gone, once this war's over, we should have dinner together. And it's like, oh God, you're going to die. Please stop talking about our lovely post-war dinner, Sir Emmerich. And then Sir Emmerich was fine. And then they killed another guy randomly. And it was like, oh. And then you have the dinner. Like, there's a mission where you go to have dinner with Sir Emmerich after the war, and it's lovely. We put on a coat. After this mission, I'll ask my girlfriend to marry me. Will you be my best man at the wedding? Also, I'm going to retire. I finally saved up enough money to move into the countryside and buy a house. And, and my dog just had puppies. Like, there's an inverse red flag to death ratio in FF14.
So the Empire's finished, is it? Well, that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat.
The more red flags you raise, you can just use those flags to defend any kind of mortal attack on you. On this mission, we should go on another cool adventure, running around and getting billion gills again. You say that, but literally, like what, 10 quests ago, we had friggin' Grahatia being like dying and being like, please, will you take me on a mission? Please, will you take me on a mission again? That's all I want. And then he's like, of course. And he's like, thank you. And then he freezes up and turns into a statue and dies. And then you just go and get him, and then you start taking him on adventures, and he's absolutely fine. Like there's no, it's like in Final Fantasy XIV, if you've got a red flag, you can use it to fend off anything. It's the strongest weapon. But then you got the guy who's just like, yeah, no, I guess I haven't got anything going on. What's up? Oh my God, I've got a hole in my chest. Where did this come from? I'm not even near anything dangerous. I'm at home in my kitchen. There.
And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I a part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
To be fair, he wasn't sure it would be possible to save him, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he threw up all these red flags of being like, please take me out on an adventure, and it would have been really sad if we couldn't save him. But then we did, and he was fine, and everything was great. That's what I'm saying. He was just like, he goes, I need to ensure my survival, so I'm just going to throw up as many red flags as I can.
If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
So I'm saying red flags, I mean death flags. Red flags is a different thing. That's like, oh, this person is, really into knives. That's a red flag. Death flags. They're throwing up death flags everywhere. Your friends said what is return. No, I'm not. I understand. I understand like why he was, but the point is that they was throwing up these death flags and then was fine, and that's what I'm saying. It's like Sir Emmerich threw up a load of death flags during Heavensward, absolutely fine. The worst thing that happened to him is he got stabbed a bit. And then the characters that don't throw up any death flags whatsoever are the ones that get killed randomly. And it's just like, FF14, I don't understand. I can't predict anything. It's good. It's not a complaint. I like it. It's much better that way. This does really feel like Arenvald is going to go and die, though. Like, he hasn't been in the plot for a long time, and now they're sending him off on this, like, heartfelt, voice-acted...
If you finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Like, he did a fist bump with Alphino. You know, someone needs to go and die. Like, Moonbreeder had no death flags. Moonbreeder was just like, hey, I'm a big new Scion character who's going to join the team. Oh, I've got a hole in my chest. Shit. Minfilia didn't throw up any death flags. It's just, they kind of know where. Death flags are pretty big red flags unless you're a necromancer. A necromancer. That'd be a cool dating sim.
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it.
You just date... It's a dating sim where you just date a load of undead, like vampires and a zombie or a ghoul.
Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Pagalthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
The fuck's Pagalthan?
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, to be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a Scion's lot in life. Take care, eh?
I reincarnated another world as a powerful necromancer, but every undead I revive is smoking hot. I'd read that.
It means a lot, you know. You come in with me.
But I read all sorts of isekai trash. I both love and hate isekai. Like, there's so many of them are so terrible, but I do just keep reading them.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming.
Is it ever explained what Arenvald's mark is? Is that like, is it like a birthmark, or is it just like war paint or something that he's got on his face? Or is it, yeah, is it just like a birthmark or something? I don't remember if they ever explained.
I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light or Alphino, for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try.
Okay, yeah, this is a few more death flags than normal.
They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
It would be funny if Fordola just walked off when he was staring up, and he looks down to look for her, and she's just not there, and he's like, oh fuck, hang on.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Ah, bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru. Oh, I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian.
Tataru's like, like an old person when it comes to using a mobile phone. It's like, hello? Have I got? Can you hear me? Hang on, have I pressed the right button? Oh, I've turned the camera on. Hang on.
And I'm sorry to say, he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut.
You watch the vending machine anime. I love reading people's comments about it. Everyone was like, I started watching it ironically, but now I can't stop. I have seen the manga come up a few times, and I looked at it and thought, even I can't bring myself to read this one. But it keeps being updated, so it must be a reasonably good. There's a I might, if I'm ever in the mood, pick it up at some point, because I figure, I mean, them making an anime out of it doesn't mean a great deal, because they've made anime about some real trash before, but it must be at least reasonably good. Oh, not an isekai, but just because they're making an anime of it, and I saw an article about it, and I friggin' love the manga, is they're making an anime of the Japanese, I think it's Seisei no Freiren. So no Freiren. Freiren Beyond Journey's End is the English, not translation, but the English name for it. The manga is great. The anime looks like it's got a the anime looks like it's a good adaptation from the trailer I saw. It's really, really good. It's a really incredibly melancholy anime about an elf who has been alive for a millennia, and the story starts after they've defeated the Demon King, and she's part of the heroes party that defeated the Demon King. And they went on a 10-year tour to fight the Demon King. This is all like chapter 1 explained like immediately. And it's basically, and it follows her as she kind of realizes that like she didn't, all of her friends from the hero party start to grow old and die, and she suddenly realizes, oh, I'd spend nearly enough time with them while I had the chance to, because time for her, because she's been alive for 1,000 years and will be alive for several thousand years longer, time's very sort of flows a lot differently for her, and so she becomes, it's then sort of her dealing with like survivor's guilt of outliving the rest of her party. It's really it sounds really depressing, but it's really heartwarming and it's really, really good. I don't normally do anime recommendations, but I really like Freiren, so I recommend it.
But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
The warrior like just hangs up.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
I mean, I can teleport there. The rest of you schlums can, take a spaceship over or whatever. Airship, not spaceship.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
So what am I doing? Am I going to catch up with Estinian? I feel like no one's asking me to do anything at the moment. I'm just kind of an accessory to everything else's quests. So, Estinian was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, we must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to find him. Come, there is no time to lose. Okay, we are going to Ishgard then. Here we can see Sir Emmerich. There's no spaceships in FF14. This isn't Star Trek Online. Now, see, I know just enough about Endwalkers to know that you might be being sarcastic. All present? Good. Let us split up and search for Estinian. Since we're relatively new to this place, Graham and I will look around the open spaces, the squares and markets and whatnot. You and Jack can delve into the nooks and crannies. Oh, that was Alisaie. Very well. Let us reconvene at the airship landing later, with or without Estinia. Good luck. I think I shall begin at the Sky Steel Manufactory, so perhaps you could try the congregation? Lucia may well have heard news of our friend's return. Let's go to the pub. I can't use my mounts in Ishgard. Certainly want to play Star Trek Online. I think Briar was complaining about that earlier because after a while, you just can't get any more ships or something. I keep getting, so I get these. I get these. I would never foreshadow big plot points through weird sarcasm. No, of course you wouldn't. You would never. You wouldn't dare. I keep getting these emails that are like, "Oh, hey, you've got a sponsorship deal that you can do." Like, not like one that's actually for me, but it's like they're open sponsorship deals, and they're mostly for mobile games. Right, I bet if I check my email, I've got one now. Cause I get them like daily. You got a new Ant Legion for the Swarm offer, see? Like I said, I get them every day from freaking Stream Elements. Yeah, Ant Legion for the Swarm. Join the campaign and earn up to $340. I normally get like HelloFresh, and one of them is Star Trek Online. And I was reading through the terms and conditions of them, and I don't think there's anything in the terms and conditions that say that you can't, like, you have to do one game at a time. And so I did have an idea for a stream, but I was just like, this is like one of those ideas that sounds good on paper, but in practice would be stupid. Like, could I play? Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends is definitely one of them. Could I play 4 games all at the same time and just keep switching between the ad reads for all 4 games and just do 4 sponsored streams in one stream? Like, again, it's one of those things that I sort of think, I think this is a funny idea, but I don't know whether it's like it would actually hold up for an entire stream. Although I think it would be funny to do a HelloFresh one and like have three quarters of the screen made up of 3 different games, and then the bottom screen being like a camera on some ingredients that I'm like trying to chop in between playing the other games. Star Trek Online sponsorship could be fun. The game's honestly fun. Maybe that would be one of the 3 then. Because I figure I can do one on my phone, and I can do, at least, if I can do 2 of them on PC, I can do one on my phone, and then one like, I don't know, it was just a thought. Still because Star Trek, but I enjoy the game. I played one of those Star Trek games, but I don't think it was, No, it's not Star Trek Online. Star Trek Online is the one I've played. It's Star Trek Ship Commander, I think, is the mobile one. I get adverts for it occasionally on YouTube as well. That's the one where I think you apparently, if you don't put money in, you just run it. They stop giving you ships after a while, and it's difficult to progress. I think that's the one that I have the sponsorship deals for as well as the Star Trek ship commander. Something like that. Anyway. A good day to you, Warrior of Light. Lord Emmerich sent word that you would be attending the meeting in Alamigo, so I gather you have not come in search of him. To what then do we owe the pleasure of your visit? Have you seen a dragoon? I see. No, we were not aware Serastinian had returned to Ishgard, but as I expect you remember, he is wont to come and go as he pleases. Mayhap he came seeking an audience with Lord Emmerich, only to find him absent. In any event, I'm afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better. Bye. It's like, okay, Alisaie, I haven't spoken to you in a while, but you know, no, it's all business with Alisaie. No, how you doing? There's no, by the way, you know how you're a Garlean? Yeah, your lot are up to some business. I mean, I know it doesn't really, like, involve you anymore. You've not been in Garlemald for a while, but still. Just keeping you abreast. The April's Fool's event started when I did a few years back was so goddamn funny. They replaced every sound effect with voiced sound effects. So your doors are a woman going shh, and your guns are a guy going pew pew for like every sound effect. That does sound amazing. That does sound absolutely amazing. If only there was a way you could just have that as an option all the time. I would do an entire stream with the sound effects like that if there was.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence.
There he is. Is he?
Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
Alright, Estinian.
Too long?
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I didn't think Estinian knew Alisaie.
Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
I am not Alphino! If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Ugh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
I mean, you are identical twins.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side.
Oh no, he called Alisaie rugged. I do like that, because Alisaie, like, because she wasn't in A Realm Reborn much, because I didn't do the, like, Bahamut Coil stuff. It took me a little while to kind of warm up to her, but I really like her, like, tomboy, like, personality that she's got now, even though it just does... Even though it does mean that she gets mistaken for her brother sometimes to a hilarious effect. And yes, Graha has gone into fanboy. Has gone into adoring fan mode.
To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alisaie shouting. Estinian! It's been too long. No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
I do think it's a weird choice to give Estinian hair that clips through his armor constantly. Like, it's... I just feel like they should have given him different hair if they were going to have him wear his armor all the time. Like, it doesn't not clip through his armor.
At least
no matter
someone's
what.
having a good time.
Like, if it was a case that, like, normally it'd be fine, but it's only when he turns his head in certain angles, it would be one thing. But his hair clips through his armor all the time.
You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald.
Season of brothers he never had. I think he learned how to talk with people rather than at them. Well, you can't keep them all to yourself forever.
Keep him to my... You're joking, aren't you? I'd be glad if someone would take him off my hands.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Alisaie.
I think this gave up on that long ago. Too many hairstyle clips through stuff. Yeah, but like most of the main characters are fine. It's only Estinian. The only other person is Xenos, whose hair also kind of... But his hair kind of sticks to his armor rather than clips through it. I just feel like they should have just given him, like, less of a collar, and it would have been fine.
Alisaie? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Because, like, his armor's unique to him, so there's no reason it needs to have such a high collar.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Alisaie, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
I guess the idea is that his hair is just, like, supposed to be draping over the armor rather than clipping through it, but anyway.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation?
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Alisaie together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again and I'll throw you overboard. Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less... blunt?
He's fantasy Batman. I mean... I don't know what either of you were expecting. But I also like how the threat of being thrown overboard is no threat to Estinian because he's like, I'm a dragoon. I have strong legs. I can just superhero land if you throw me off the side. It's been quite some time since I last set foot in Alisaie, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently, and I suppose you chanced to meet up with Tiamat during your visit. Alas not. We had no cause to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant, but I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Jack is the person to ask. As far as I know, he's the only one of us to have met Tiamat face to face. Even now, she remains a prisoner of the Aragon Empire. Ever since the end of the war with Mericidia, yes. To have been held captive for so long. I too have met with Tiamat. After the Dragon Soul came to a close, I came here to speak with her, a worm who had fought for her own war against man in another age. I wished to know if she yet harbored thoughts of vengeance, and asked as much. She said no. So I believed her. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels for resurrecting Bahamut burns on undimmed. It torments her even now. I see. Then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Nidhogg is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Have a quiche. We've got Righteous Indignation. Alright, we'll do 2 more quests, I think, and then we'll call it a night, probably. Because the quest after that has a dungeon, and I think it's unlikely to match up with someone at this late at night. Tiamat awaits this way. I don't know why they went in that direction when Tiamat's over here. Yeah, I've actually got the right. Wait, no, do I have the right dragon? I think I have the right dragon. Hey. I mean, I've still got Midgard's armor in my pocket if I need him.
Edgin Elfin Wafes non in.
My sire's mortal companion, what bringeth thee back to this forsaken place, child of man?
It's plain she knows naught of recent events. Perhaps you should enlighten her.
Pink Bahamut! Just there. That's all he shouts. Just Pink Bahamut and then it fades to black. Oh. That my sin should be repeated. I sense not the faintest stirring. As to who could have called him forth, I know of none save the dragons of Mericidia, our children. The right dragon is Ratatoska's daughter, the only acceptable dragon mount. I think I only have 1 dragon mount. I'll double check. I might have 2. I might have gotten 1 as a deluxe edition bonus.
Esk I an esh
The Icon claimed their souls when first he manifested, and robbed of their will, they became tools for the Allagan's dark designs.
Much like those held here in Asisla. If dragons who worship Bahamut are required to summon him, that must mean...
The dragons of Mericidia are at the mercy of this Asian. There can be no other explanation. Accursed Asians, vile minions of darkness. Again you would profane the memory of my beloved, and strip our children of their freedom, their dignity. Are there no depths to which you would not stoop? You have to do a specific crafting quest to get the out I'm talking of. Oh, then I definitely don't have it.
Your children's pain means nothing to them. They laugh at your kind suffering.
And our kind suffering. Asians are kind of dicks, generally.
But tears will not right this wrong, nor will lamentation see the perpetrators punished.
What wouldst thou have from me, Slayer of Dragons?
Behavior befitting a great worm. We came here to ask mighty Tiamat of the First Brood, consort of Bahamut, mother of the dragons of Mericidia, what she intends to do about the crimes committed against her children.
Were I free, I would answer thine insolence with fire. But words shall have to suffice. Fuck you, pretty boy. Recall, mortals, that it was I who did first summon my beloved, praying with all my being to bring him forth. You who contend with icons cannot well be ignorant of the consequence.
You too were exposed to his influence. That you are yet in possession of your own will is testament to the indomitable strength of your soul.
But we do have a pig if you want to, scrub the rest of yourself clean.
But were you to meet with Bahamut again, you fear you might succumb.
Indeed! Ask the Dragon Slayer, and he will tell thee the power we of the First Brood wield. Were I to lose myself to the Icon's influence, all would pay the price. But it is of little matter, for even had I the strength to resist, I yet lack the strength to break my shackles. This prison shall be my tomb. I was not good instead of stealing his blood.
On the matter of Bahamut's influence, at least, I believe we can be of some assistance.
Yeah, Stillion's got no time for anything. He's like, I am a busy man.
If you're afraid of being enthralled, don't be. We have a cure. And while we've never tried it on one such as you, its basic principles are universal.
Speakest thou in earnest?
There is no future for those bound to the past. That you committed a terrible sin, I do not dispute. But if you feel remorse, you may yet make amends. We offer you that chance. Take it, or you will forever remain a prisoner, not of these cruel shackles, but of your own guilt.
A chance to make amends. to lay Bahamut's memory to rest. Sorry, I've kicked up a lot of dust, I think. On our own star faced annihilation, Hydaelyn granted us sanctuary. And now your foes would bring about her destruction. This I cannot allow. For the debt I owe to Hydaelyn and to all who have suffered for my sins, I shall fight with you, children of man. Oh, he's so proud of Alphino. And Alisaie. So, we need to get the dragon out next, right? Is that what we're doing? It would seem she still has some pride after all. Let's see if she's as good as her word. While pork seeds have been shown to be effective in curing the tempered, Tiamat must be considered a special case. She is far, far larger and immeasurably more powerful than any subject treated thus far. Were we to remove her restraints only to find that the process had failed, we would be hard-pressed to contain her. Then, before going ahead, we should learn as much as we can about the exact nature of her condition. Do you suppose we can find that information here? Why, yes, we can. We can indeed. The Alligans kept detailed records on all their notable captives, and I know exactly where to look. We shall leave that to you, then. In the meantime, the rest of us can turn our thoughts to the removal of those shackles. Grah's like, oh no, I know how to do that too. It's like a button in one of the back offices. I know Alphino and Jack here well enough, but not you. Are you certain you're ready to see this through? Rest assured, Sir Stenian, that I am both ready and willing to give my all for the sake of this star, though that is not my only reason for wanting to set Tiamat free. While I do not claim to know all of her sorrows, I too once found myself in a prison of despair, and I well understand how hard it can be to dare to dream of escape. It took the encouragement of braver souls than I am to make me take the first step towards a brighter future, and now it helped Tiamat do the same. I gather you are not as young as you look. Mayhap when our work here is done, we could trade tales over a pot of Tathrum's famous tea. Be indebted to her for the leaves and hot water? I think not. I see. Returning swiftly to the task at hand, then. I believe the nodes governing Tiamat... Hestinian really doesn't like Tatrum, does he? I believe the nodes governing Tiamat's restraints are located in the sector known as the flagship. Ah, yes, we're familiar with it. The Etherochemical Research Facility in particular. Oh, you may wish to take this, a spirit vessel containing a small amount of my blood. I just carry these around. Which you just happen to be carrying around with you. I suppose that could seem rather odd. To explain, Rambros, Briange, and I are researching the use of spirit vessels and the transference not only of memories, but the traits of certain bloodlines, and so I keep one at the ready should an opportunity to test our theories arise. As for its use to you, you may recall that during our previous visit, the nodes here granted access to restricted functions, having identified me as being of royal blood. And under that spirit vessel, I'd posit they would do the same for you, even in the absence of, well, the rest of me. It seemed worth a try at least. Agreed. We will take good care of it. To the flagship, then. Oh, I'm going with Alphino and Alisaie, I see. I was like, why you've given it to me? If get in my flying car. Actually, one of the few maps in FF14 where the flying car isn't out of place. car ascending. Beep, beep, beep. I assume flying cars have the same as when trucks reverse, like a warning sign to show that they're rising. Otherwise, how would you know? You'd bump into them. Let us split up and search the flagship for nodes that control Tiamat's restraints. But should you find a likely candidate, do not be tempted to make any adjustments. It would not do to accidentally release this some manner of experimental monstrosity, nor less Tiamat herself in her current state. Our objective at this stage is to simply identify the relevant nodes or node or nodes. Once we have learned what we can, we should reconvene and compare notes prior to proceeding. Poke some nodes. Or just ignore this thing. This Pokemon looking. Oh no, it's got a face. Oh, okay. No, not to suggest that Pokemon don't have faces, but there was a specific Pokemon it reminded me of, and when I saw that it had a face, it stopped reminding me of that Pokemon. Data link with data quadrant broken. Possible cause, intruder interference. Advised deployment of automated combat units. Proceed. There's no there. I like this war spike. I do appreciate that monsters won't attack you if your level difference is too high. I wish all RPGs did that. It's so annoying being attacked by like level 1 enemies when you're re-exploring an area when you're like level 70, and it's like, really? Do you really have no survival instincts that you can't tell that I am out of your league? Psst. Friction between metallic components detective. Temperature increased to critical levels. Please replace damaged parts or retreat to a safe distance. Bzz. I think Earthbound went a step further with that and made it so that if you were over, if the level difference was over a certain amount, and you got into a fight with an enemy that was, well, yeah, you got into a fight with an enemy that was below a certain amount, you just automatically won the fight, but you didn't get much experience. It was just like your very presence killed them. Bleep bloop, warning, scheduled dragon restraint maintenance due in minus 2,020 years. Failing to verify system integrity may result in unscheduled specimen release. Okay, I don't know if any of these were any use. I mean, I guess that last one mentioned specimen release. I have little to show for our efforts. Did you find anything? I did. A node which smelled like burnt hair, a chirping node which spontaneously warned me about neglecting the dragon restraints. I found a way to activate mechanical sentries, anyhow. Well, I mean, this one sounds like the one. Spontaneously, you say? Oh, this sounds promising. Almost suspicious, so in fact. But then you were in possession of the spirit vessel. I dare say it is indeed the node of which Graham spoke. And it was chirruping, you say? Very well, let's take a closer look. I am curious what happens if you say no, though. Like if you just go, no, I didn't find it. It's like, well, I guess we can't save Tiamat then. Oh well. Blip. Do you wish to operate the dragon restraint mechanisms? I think sentries are totally what we need. It'd be great if this game was dynamic enough that you could actually, like, choose one of the three of them. And it's like, do you want to free the dragon, or do you want your own army of robots? And it's like, oh, that is a choice, isn't it? Why not both? Bloop, you do not have the requisite access privileges. Operation of the Dragon restraint mechanisms may only be undertaken by the Chief Technologist and members of the royal family. Or those with a vessel full of royal blood, perhaps. Wait, I thought we didn't want to do this yet. Blip, news detected commencing biometric authentication. Authentication complete. User identified as member of the royal family. Please state your name. I don't know necessarily that it... I mean, I guess there's probably more going on with the crystal than just I've put some blood in it for the restrainment node to identify it as, like, misidentify it as a member of the royal family. But it does suggest that, like, if I just cut off Graha's hand and then held it up to the nodes, they'd be like, ah, yes, your highness, how are you? Estinian Wormblood. just for shits and giggles. Very funny, but if that thing speaks my name, I shall see that it never speaks again. Use your own, Jack Dandy, in case you've forgotten. Bloop, username changed. Welcome, Jack Dandy. You may operate the Dragon restraint mechanisms when ready. Like I said, it's just like, I hate robots. But you're no fun, Estinian. You're no fun at all. Bloop bloop, error. Unable to disengage restraints of the specimen Tiamat. A system update is required. A system update? What do you suppose it is asking of us? It's like, oh, god damn it. Are we going to have to restart the entire island? I could hazard a guess. Well, that's more than I can say. Confounded bloody thing. User agitation detected. Initiating guidance program. Bloop. In order to operate the restraint mechanism, I require access to the central control system. However, I am unable to establish a link to said system due to the obsolescence of my own software. This issue can be resolved by applying a system update using the corresponding terminal located within the flagship. So this thing can release the... Can this thing release the restraints or not? It can, but only once it has received the requisite system update, as far as I can tell. Until which time it will float there spewing nonsense. Is dissatisfaction detected? Initiating placation protocols. Bloop, I am here to help. Rest assured that I will be on hand to guide you through every step of the system update process. How gratifying. But I dare say we will fare better with guidance than without it. Yeah, none of us are technologically savvy, so... Like, Estinian wants to smash it, Alphino barely understands what it's saying, and I'm just happy to be here. And they are like thousands-of-year-old computers. I mean, this is true, but who's updating the software? Unless it's self-updating software. Oh god, what a future. Bloop, guiding user to terminal. This way, please. Like in the future, years after like humanity has been wiped off the face of the earth, Google Chrome is still updating. It's like 1,000 years from now, they finally figured out how to make the tabs use up less CPU. Bloop, access granted to use the Jack Dandy and his adolescent Alisaie companion. Master Dandy's other companion is deemed potential risk to safe operation and has been denied access privileges until further notice. So, this one, the little one's fine, but this one's scary. I won't give it access in case he breaks something. Let's see. According to the terminal, the central control system is presently employing software FFXIV. Dare I ask which version you are employing? 4. Why? Software version 42002, of course. Bleep bloop warning. Errors detected in the data management system. Estimated time required for update 5 years, 1 day. That is rather longer than we were hoping. Are there any other options? For instance, using this terminal to operate Tiamat's restraints instead? So, the proposed method is indeed an option. Please be warned, however, that the procedure may have changed as a result of the system update, and my instructions may no longer be accurate. Well, I can't imagine we have changed all that much. As long as we paid due attention to any discrepancies, I dare say we should be able to muddle our way through. Don't bother trying to explain. Just tell me if we've made any progress. Maybe. I would say so, yes. It does, however, require that I remain here to operate the terminal. I shall inform you via link, but once I'm ready to release the shackles. It might be best if you left the spirit vessel with me. I may yet have use for it. Rest assured, I will be certain to return to Grahatir once this is over. You are now Jack Dandy. Just a little more work and Tiamat will be free. Before we go any further, there is something I would know. When Tiamat and her kin fought against the Allagan Empire, both sides were but dancing to the tune of the Asians. And it was the same in Ishgard, where they stoked the fires of conflict between man and dragon from the shadows. All that the Asians touch turns to ash, and thus have you made it your mission to fight them. There have been times when you tried to reach out to them instead, to find common ground. So I must ask, what do you intend to do with Fandaniel? Will you try and reach out to him too? I think Fandaniel maybe a bit far gone. I would try, yes. If that fails, I'll remember him. Oh, that's a good line. Certainly after I've wiped the smile off his face, enemy or no, I want to understand him. I like the middle one. That's a good. That's a pretty hard line. Just, I'll try, and if that fails, I'll be sure to. Yeah, I will kill him. There's no point in reasoning with the wretch, or remembering him for that matter. But perhaps that's the difference between you and me. You see the good in people, even if it be but the faintest glimmer. I only hope you do not come to ruin your benevolence. You think it's unwise reviewing the world thus? Far from it. That has ever been your way, as I learned when we journeyed together with Iceheart. But the fact remains, there are some who view compassion as a weakness to be exploited. And there may come a time when you extend the hand of friendship, only to wish that you had dealt the killing blow. Foreshadowing. So save your mercy for those who deserve it. Well, we should be getting back to our task. If Alphino has things in hand here, I suggest we rejoin the others. Survey for the 10th anniversary. I can't remember what it was for. I mean, it was for the 10th anniversary. I can't remember if there was a prize or something. But it was like, what is your favourite mount? And I was looking through all my mounts and I just thought, it's got to be the Fat Chocobo. Like, I love this little guy. It's one of the first mounts I had as well. I'd like to get the other one, because I think there's a white Fat Chocobo as well, just so I got the set, but I don't think it's been made available, or it was, but it was before I started playing. I also want the Eat Pizza remote, which again was only made available in America. Justinian told me all is well, but nothing more. Honestly, it's like getting blood out of a stone with him. I take it from Alphino's absence that he's needed elsewhere? Computer needed an update. Alphino's doing tech support. Well, that sounds rather frustrating. But you got there in the end. While you were off talking to nodes, Graham and I were learning as much as we could about Tiamat's condition. Our readings confirm that her ethereal balance leans strongly towards the umbral, as was the case with the kobolds. Therefore, all other things being equal, the treatment should work. The difficulty lies in the sheer quantity of ether which we must contend. Multiple applications of the treatment will inevitably be required if we are to reverse the effects of the tempering completely. Meaning, I'll need all the ether I can get. Thank you in advance. Although this endeavour will ask much of us, we do have one reason to be optimistic. Namely, that Tiamat shows no signs of fanatical devotion, suggesting a milder case of tempering than that suffered by the kobolds. Tiamat saw Bahamut as an equal rather than a god. Might that have made a difference? Now that you mention it, it very well might. She would not have believed it necessary to defer to his will. But enough talk. It's time to put our theories to the proof. Tell Alphino to disengage the restraints ethereal dampers. I'm counting on you, Angelo. So we find out that, like, dragons have so much ether, the pig just explodes. It's like, well, we're gonna need a bigger pig. Oh, such warmth. The frost that shroudeth my soul doth begin to thaw. But what are these? Visions of days long forgotten, of war with the men of Alag. Wherefore do such baleful memories return to me now? Could it be that the process of restoring her soul to its pre-tempted state is awakening ancient memories? Or might the opposite be true? If so, by happening to recall the past, we may be able to speed her recovery. Jack, she trusts you. Speak to her. Ask her to tell you of times past. Tell me of Bahamut and the Asians. Ah, Bahamut, my beloved. Would that the peace we found in Mericidia could have lasted for eternity. But alas, it was not to be. The Asians saw to that. In all creation I know of none more wicked. It was at the behest that the men of Alag first came unto Mericidia, unto our home. The tale began when Bahamut and I left our father's side. We took wing in search of a place to make our eyrie. Beyond the southern ocean we discovered a lush and fertile land. It would become to be known as Mericidia by the children of men, though many years were to pass before they crossed the seas. Upon our arrival, we were welcomed by the peaceful people of the forest, kin to the trees. Surrounded by nature's bounty, Bahamut and I found a place to raise our young. Fascinating. This correlates with the writings of the Sharlayan scholar Rarusha. She posits that man first settled on the southern continent towards the end of the Second Astral Era. Correctly, it would appear. If only she were with us to hear the tale from Tiamat herself. Again, Angelo. Tiamat just starts remembering, like, really benign memories. Like, the steak I had that Saturday in May, 4,000 years ago. Oh, it was the best steak I've ever eaten. It's like, why are you eating steak? When first the children of man arrived on our shores, no foot did they set in those places over which we held dominion. Such was their fear of dragonkind, and as they kept their distance, so did we let them be. Yet as the days went by, ship after ship appeared upon the horizon, bearing ever more of their brethren who divided the vast land amongst themselves. For a time they knew peace and prosperity, but as their numbers grew, the smaller their share came to seem, and soon they began to covet the territory of their fellows. Ere long, man fought man, blood was answered with blood, and none could see an end to the strife, until one day they came to us. Recognizing our wisdom, they entreated us to intercede in their conflicts. Bahamut agreed, with him presiding over the affairs of men. The land knew peace once more. Alas, those golden days of harmony too were fated to end. For the men of Alak slew my beloved, and I, in my rage and sorrow, heeded the envenomed words of the Asians. The rest thou knowest only too well. Sorry, Alisaie's having a hyperventilating over here. But your tale doesn't have to end there. When you are free, we'll rid the world of the Asians together, and you and your beloved will have justice. And I've got a stitch. Fine sentiments, but you're almost spent. I'll keep watch from above. If the treatment fails, run. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I swear, when this is over... Keep going, Alisaie. The magic is working. Well, I knew this wasn't going to be easy. No patient could have prepared me for treating a great worm. But we're close, I can feel it. While I've only got a few more drops of ether left to give, with yours and Graha's, this will work. And then I believe I speak for both of us when I say you may take as much as you require. Careful, I might hold you to that. Alright, here I go. Again, I'd never understand why they're so reluctant to take my ether. I've got a bountiful reserve of it.
No! I'm almost there!
She's got ultra instincts.
This is it, Angelo!
Es lies an.
Yes, I feel it. The icon's grip gloweth weak.
Did it work?
We won't know for certain until the shackles are removed.
It'd be awful if remove this shackles from Tiamat's like, didn't work, time to die. Answer me this, children of man, can my kindred be saved in like manner?
Many have been subjected to the Allagan's dark arts, their flesh irrevocably altered. For such tortured souls, I fear there can be no salvation.
My children.
Slosk an all fall kail an.
Should you hearken unto my call, we shall fly together once more. Or should you not, I shall grant you peace. Better to die than live as a tool of evil. You too would wish this, I know, and I shall do as I must.
When that time comes, you won't be alone. We'll stand by you.
Oh, that's my gratitude, little rugged one. Like, how dare you? Everyone's calling me rugged today.
Alphino's ready. It's time. Do it. And let's hope the treatment worked as it should.
Bahamut, my beloved. For vengeance and atonement I rise. Bye.
By the gods!
Give me a minute. What? All of my body
your
is
timing
asleep.
could not be better.
I need to get the blood flowing again. Just give me. I got pins and needles, and there's a whole lot going on right now.
Understood, we're on our way. It's Bahamut. He's been sighted over Pagalthan. He flies for the largest Amalja settlement in the region, at the head of a vast host, including dragons.
Did you hear all that, Alphino? You'd best rejoin your comrades. I'll make my own way. Our enemy awaits. Shall we?
Genuinely thought I said he was going to jump he's going to jump the whole way. And I thought, I mean, he's springy, but that seems optimistic even for him. Well, I'm sure you're desperate to join Estinian and Tiamat in battle. It would be wise to gather the full strength of science first. The foe we face demands no less. Have a salad. Alright. We will knock it on the head there, because I think the next mission is a dungeon, and it is 1 AM, which is a terrible time to queue for a dungeon. So we'll do that as the first thing we do next week. I say next week, I'm pretty sure there's nothing I want to play next Friday, so it should be fine. I think now there's nothing coming up that I want to play until the 17th, really. Well, new that I want to play. When Sonic comes out. So yeah, should be next Friday. Play some more Final Fantasy XIV. I reckon next Friday we'll get to Endwalker. If it's only there's 5 quests left, so start with the dungeon, and then it's just kind of the sort of wrap up into Endwalker, and then yeah, 1 more expansion to go after that, and then the post quests, and then it's just to wait for Dawntread to break Dawn Trail. Dawn Trail. I'll remember it eventually. Yeah. So cool. So yeah, we'll call it there. I will be back tomorrow. We'll be playing Sonic Frontier. We'll be playing the new update, which I have heard is both, considering it's a free update, very, very in-depth. Like, they've gone to quite a lot of effort to flesh out the new characters' skill trees and stuff. Is also very hard, I've heard. I've heard a lot of people are struggling with it a little bit. So, I was looking at a couple of like videos on YouTube just to see how long it took most people, and they were sort of 6 to 7 hours. So I'll try and start at 6 tomorrow, because I'd like to knock it out in one sitting if I can. Just sort of blast through all of Sonic Frontiers. So we will hopefully do that, and I will have my new AI companion tomorrow to help guide me through, who I'm very excited about. Because the little bit I've played around with it, this is probably my favourite one so far. Again, not to hype it up too much, but I'm excited. So, yeah, tomorrow, Sonic. So if I see you then, I will see you then. I'm going to... I might eat a sandwich. I'm hungry. Sandwich sounds good. Yeah, let's make a sandwich. I'm going to go make a sandwich. Thanks for watching if you did. Have a good night, and I will see you anon.